Ganoderma Lucidum, widely revered as the reishi mushroom, has occupied a vital place in traditional medicine and holistic health for centuries, especially throughout East Asia. Its glossy reddish-brown fruiting bodies have been depicted in ancient texts and artwork, symbolizing longevity, spiritual potency, and well-being. Today, reishi mushrooms are at the heart of a thriving global industry, cultivated and processed using advanced agricultural and technological methods, resulting in products that are shipped worldwide. Understanding the journey of Ganoderma from spore to shelf involves exploring its meticulous cultivation, precise care, careful harvesting, sophisticated processing, and the complexities of its economic value, especially in a global context where production and consumption span continents. To begin with, the cultivation of Ganoderma lucidum is an intricate process that requires both scientific knowledge and patient attention to detail. The journey starts with selecting high-quality Ganoderma spores or mycelium. These are used to inoculate a prepared substrate, which is typically composed of sterilized sawdust, hardwood logs, or a blend of organic agricultural byproducts. The choice of substrate is critical, as it must be both nutritious and free from contaminants to support the healthy growth of mycelium, the vegetative part of the fungus. Once the substrate has been inoculated, it is transferred to controlled environments that mimic the natural conditions favorable to reishi growth. Temperature, humidity, and light are all meticulously regulated. Optimal temperatures for mycelial growth range between 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, while relative humidity is maintained between 80 to 90%. Proper air circulation is essential to prevent the accumulation of excess carbon dioxide, which can stunt the development of fruiting bodies. The colonization phase, where the mycelium fully permeates the substrate, typically lasts several weeks. This is followed by the initiation of fruiting, during which the environmental conditions are carefully adjusted, often by lowering the temperature slightly and increasing fresh air exchange. Under these conditions, the Ganoderma begins to form its characteristic kidney-shaped fruiting bodies. These are allowed to mature fully, a process that can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on the specific strain and environmental variables. Throughout the cultivation cycle, diligent care is paramount. The grower must regularly monitor for signs of contamination by competing fungi or bacteria, which can devastate a crop if not promptly addressed. Sanitation practices are rigorous, tools and growing environments are sterilized, and workers adhere to strict hygiene protocols. Additionally, the moisture content of the substrate and ambient humidity are frequently checked and adjusted as needed, ensuring the developing mushrooms receive the precise amount of hydration required for optimal growth. Once the fruiting bodies reach maturity, indicated by their glossy surface, rich color, and firm texture, they are ready for harvest. Timing is crucial here. Harvesting too early can result in underdeveloped mushrooms with lower concentrations of bioactive compounds, while harvesting too late can lead to degradation and reduced quality. Using sharp, sanitized tools, the fruiting bodies are carefully detached from the substrate to minimize damage. Any residual substrate is trimmed away, and the mushrooms are immediately transferred to clean containers for the next stage of their journey. Post-harvest processing is a critical step that preserves the potency and extends the shelf life of Ganoderma products. The freshly harvested mushrooms are first cleaned to remove any debris or residual substrate. They are then typically sliced and subjected to a drying process, which may involve air drying, oven drying, or freeze drying, depending on the intended use and scale of production. This step is essential to prevent spoilage and to concentrate the bioactive compounds that make Ganoderma so valuable. Once dried, the mushrooms are processed into a variety of forms. The most common is a fine powder, produced by grinding the dried fruiting bodies. This powder can be sold as is or further processed into extracts, capsules, or incorporated into teas and herbal blends. Extraction is often performed using hot water or alcohol to concentrate specific compounds such as polysaccharides and triterpenoids, which are believed to confer the bulk of reishi's health benefits. The resulting extracts are then standardized, tested for quality and purity, and packaged for distribution to consumers around the world. The economic value of Ganoderma lucidum is substantial and growing. As of 2023, the global Ganoderma extract market was valued at approximately $367.80 million, with projections indicating this figure will rise to $504.26 million by 2029. This anticipated growth, at a compound annual growth rate of 5.40%, underscores the increasing demand for reishi products in both traditional and modern health markets. China stands as the undisputed leader in the cultivation, processing, and export of Ganoderma. The country accounts for an estimated 60 to 65% of the global Ganoderma and Lingzhi powder market, thanks to its vast agricultural infrastructure, favorable climate, and long-standing expertise in mushroom cultivation. Chinese producers have honed their techniques over decades, enabling efficient large-scale production that meets rigorous quality standards. This dominance is reflected in export statistics, with China leading global shipments of reishi mushrooms, followed by countries such as Turkey and South Korea. In contrast, regions like North America and Europe face significant barriers to local cultivation. Climatic conditions, the lack of traditional expertise, and regulatory hurdles mean that these markets rely heavily on imports to meet consumer demand. This reliance on foreign producers has notable economic implications. For example, the price per kilogram of pure Ganoderma Lucidum powder in North America and Europe ranges from $60 to $120, substantially higher than the $30 to $50 per kilogram for domestically sourced products in Asia. The higher costs are attributable to a combination of factors: transportation expenses, import duties, and the premium placed on certified organic and traceable supply chains. These disparities in production and pricing have a ripple effect on market dynamics and consumer access. In exporting countries like China, a robust domestic market coupled with efficient export logistics allows for competitive pricing and wide availability of Ganoderma products. Consumers benefit from fresh supplies and a diverse array of product formats, from raw mushrooms to highly concentrated extracts. Meanwhile, in importing regions, the higher cost of Ganoderma products can limit access, particularly among price-sensitive consumers. The longer lead times associated with international shipping can also impact freshness and shelf life, further complicating supply chain management. Beyond economics, the global trade in Ganoderma lucidum raises important questions about sustainability and quality assurance. Large-scale cultivation, particularly in export-oriented countries, must balance productivity with environmental stewardship. Responsible growers invest in sustainable substrate sourcing, efficient water usage, and organic cultivation practices to minimize their ecological footprint. International standards and certifications, such as Good Agricultural Practices, GAP, and organic labels, play a vital role in ensuring that Ganoderma products are safe, effective, and environmentally friendly. Quality control is another area where exporting countries have a significant advantage. Leading Chinese producers, for instance, have invested in sophisticated testing laboratories and traceability systems that allow them to monitor every stage of production, from spore selection to final packaging. This level of oversight is essential for meeting the stringent regulatory requirements of importing countries, where consumers and authorities demand assurance of product purity, potency, and safety. For those considering entering the Ganoderma industry, whether as cultivators, processors, or distributors, understanding these global dynamics is essential. The initial investment in infrastructure, quality control, and certification can be substantial, but the potential returns, both economic and social, are considerable. In regions with suitable climates and access to technical expertise, local cultivation initiatives can help to reduce dependence on imports, lower costs, and promote sustainable agricultural development. Meanwhile, processors and marketers can add value by developing innovative products, educating consumers, and building trusted brands. At the consumer level, the growing popularity of Ganoderma lucidum reflects broader trends in health and wellness. Increasingly, people are seeking natural, plant-based remedies to support immune function, reduce stress, and promote overall vitality. Scientific studies continue to investigate reishi's potential benefits, including its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and immune-modulating properties, further fueling demand. The future of Ganoderma lucidum lies at the intersection of tradition and innovation. Advances in biotechnology, cultivation techniques, and processing methods are making it possible to produce higher yields, more potent extracts, and a broader spectrum of products. At the same time, respect for the ancient wisdom that first recognized the value of the reishi mushroom ensures that its use remains grounded in a holistic understanding of health and nature. In summary, the story of Ganoderma lucidum is one of careful cultivation, diligent care, precise harvesting, and sophisticated processing, all underpinned by a dynamic global economy. China's leadership in production and export sets the standard, but opportunities exist for new entrants who are willing to invest in quality, sustainability, and innovation. As demand for natural health products continues to rise, Ganoderma's role in supporting human wellness and economic development is set to grow even further, connecting people and traditions across continents. For Agri 360, the world of Ganoderma Lucidum is a fascinating example of how ancient agricultural practices and modern market forces come together to create value, both for producers and consumers. Whether you are a farmer considering diversifying your crops, a health entrepreneur seeking new opportunities, or simply a consumer interested in the benefits of medicinal mushrooms, Ganoderma Lucidum offers a rich tapestry of history, science, and economic potential. By understanding each step in its journey, from cultivation and care through to harvesting, processing, and global trade, you can appreciate not only the mushroom's remarkable properties, but also the intricate web of relationships that bring this extraordinary product to the world stage. As you explore the possibilities of Ganoderma, remember that quality begins at the source. Through responsible cultivation, rigorous care, and a commitment to excellence in every stage of production, the reishi mushroom can continue to fulfill its promise as a symbol of health, longevity, and prosperity for generations to come.